Oh man, this show is too good. I'm finally watching the Cobra Kai after finally watching Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3. No joke, before September, I never saw the original movies. I grew up with the remake, which I am now baffled why the remake gets so much flack, and we'll get back to that. I'm in Cobra Kai Season 1 and Episode 9 is the best. Daniel and Johnny are basically having to sit down. We're squashing all of this beef. Turns out these two got more in common than they thought. Then everything goes to shit. No, everything gets worse because through this whole season, nobody says anything to each other. It is just one huge misunderstanding to the next. Nobody says shit when they should. Just tons of misunderstandings. Especially with Johnny's son, who Danny has been training. But he didn't know that Johnny is his dad until this episode, and now he's mad at him because he thinks his son is just like his dad, but he doesn't know that his father changed, and Johnny doesn't know that his son changed. I remember the trailer for Cobra Kai Season 1 years ago, and one comment says, wait, Daddy's kind of being an asshole now, and yeah, he was. I mean, he is in this season. And there's also Daniel's daughter who's been going with freaking Blue Beetle. This is the show where he started in. And he's drunk in episode 9 because there's been another misunderstanding when he thinks that she's with Johnny's son. They get into it at a party, but Zolo is drunk, accidentally hits the daughter, and the daughter thinks that Cobra Kai hasn't changed. This whole mess could have been easily dealt with if everybody just said what had to be said. I got one more episode to go, then I got 4 more seasons after this. And all this time, I never bumped into major spoilers, not once. And the one thing about Season 5 I know about is freaking evil Tommy from Karate Kid 3 is in it. Now on to talking about the remake. And the 4th Karate Kid movie, which I still haven't seen because that's not on Netflix. The remake did its own thing instead of being a one-to-one copy of the original, which was for the best because if it did copy the original, then everyone would have kept making comparisons between the two and would automatically pick the original. But even then, the remake didn't stray from the movie it's named after. There's so much from the original that the remake stuck with. It seems everyone just delved on the remake, centering around Kung Fu, and that's it. Point is, when first watching this show, I was surprised to see that Will Smith is one of the producers for it. The remake can fit in the original Karate Kid timeline. Same for the 4th movie, which has higher odds of making it into Season 6 because that other Karate Kid knew Mr. Miyagi. Jaden is just 3 years older than Zolo, so they could easily have the remake take place in between the old Karate Kid films and Cobra Kai Season 1. If they'd have to put in some kind of tie-in with Miyagi, then perhaps Mr. Han knew Mr. Miyagi, studied him, or was inspired by him and took those methods into Kung Fu. In fact, that would be perfect because in the remake, Mr. Han and the bully's sensei, they seem to have knew each other and seem to have been trained by the same person, knew the same harsh methods, but Mr. Han let that mess go. It'd be cool if Mr. Miyagi was the one that set Mr. Han on his good path. One more thing. This bit is from after I've watched episode 10. In the tournament, there was this one dude flipping around, doing Tekken moves, just doing 80 Gordo shit. And that damn well in karate, that's a different fighting style. So if these tournaments allow various fighting styles, not just karate, then Jaden doing Kung Fu would fit in pretty well. And I had to look up karate. I legit never knew this for years. Guess where karate came from? It was influenced by Kung Fu. So the remake being called The Karate Kid despite using Kung Fu is 100% accurate. Because karate wouldn't exist without Kung Fu. Okay, this might be an extreme example, but still. In my last Cobra Kai video, I mentioned that karate was influenced by Kung Fu. So about that world tournament that Season 5 set up, if the 2010 Karate Kid makes it into the original continuity, I'm sorry, Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, Kreese, Jaden and Jackie are whooping all of your asses. You see this one example of the two different styles. Karate is more defensive. Kung Fu is more on the offense. The Kung Fu side has the speed, they'll be the ones moving. And I'll be fair, Danny and the others, they will be able to adapt. But still, Jaden and Jackie will have the advantage early on, if they make it in.
We've got big news. We're starring in a new Karate Kid movie together.
We're looking for next Karate Kid.
So let's wax on, wax off, everybody.
You mean check it on, check it off, hang it up?
Maybe the new Karate Kid will have to do it all.
Let's go! Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, and Cobra Kai.
We coming for you, nigga!
Finally got around to watching this, just part 1. It's annoying that it's split up between part 1 and 2, but the next Karate Kid film is in the works. So first of all, my Kung Fu vs. Karate video having over 300k views. Thank you for that. I don't know what I did. So part 1 is a lot of setup for the Sekkei Tenkai, the big tournament, world tournament coming up. And it is also partly about settling a lot of beef. Kinda. So first there's Kenny. It's about settling all that what happened in the last season. His brother is out of juvie. It was just a misunderstanding at first. You think that, oh, his brother doesn't know what's going on. So later on it's just the two brothers talking and the big brother asks, hey, where's this energy coming from? You never acted like this. So after all that, Kenny joins Miyagi-Do. Then you got Danny and Johnny settling things to figure out what their dojo name is going to be, and it's still the Miyagi-Do logo with an eagle on it. Next, it's about picking the top 6 for the team because everyone in the tournament has a team of 6. They figure that out, but there's one issue. One of them, Devin, cheated to get her spot. Put freaking laxative in Kenny's drink, Kenny's water bottle, so that slowed him down. He couldn't do what was needed to get his spot in the top 6. And he thinks Anthony did it because there's still beef there because Anthony used to be the bully. And Kenny doesn't say anything because he thinks Danny wouldn't believe him. And he is new to Miyagi-Do, so that is just one huge beef that is not settled. But it's a good thing he didn't say anything because it'd be another misunderstanding because Kenny doesn't know that Devin is the cheater and embarrass Kenny, not Anthony. Then there's freaking Kreese. This man there's just no getting rid of this guy. So back in season 5, they show flashbacks of Kreese. He and Terry Silver fought in freaking Vietnam. So all of that turned those two into what they are. The skills they learned in the military, they got that from an older master who Kreese and Terry later found after escaping Vietnam. So in part 1, Kreese goes back to Vietnam, helping to train these other students alongside Kim, who he kinda knew back then. Her grandfather didn't want to train her. Well, not yet. She wasn't ready. And Kreese helped start her training. And her grandfather is that old master, and he is just too freaking stubborn to die. He was already old in the flashbacks. Like, he has to be 80 or 90 now. So Kreese had to go through a test of his own to train these kids, be the master for these students for the Sekkei Tenkai. And those students, Cobra Kai, they're going in. Danny also found some secrets of Mr. Miyagi that he never knew. Something about this necklace he stole, but it must be that kind of thing where, oh, somebody stole this necklace from him, or his family, or just his people altogether, and he stole it back. There is more to the story that Danny just doesn't know yet. So next, Miyagi-Do selects their captains. You know, the male and female captains. After the two fight, after it's Robbie and Miguel and Tori and Sam. I thought, oh, there better not be beef between Robbie and Miguel again. But it's not. Being second place in previous tournaments was really getting to Robbie, but he won at the end. He's the male captain for the team. Then there's Tori and Sam. Tori's head just wasn't in the game because unfortunately her mom died. So Danny stops the fight. But Tori storms out, thinking everyone is against her. And I'll get back to that later. Danny and Johnny almost got into a fight again. Johnny didn't agree with just stopping the fight because he knows, he understands what Tori went through. Then he kind of went offline, bringing up Mr. Miyagi, and he's not the perfect master they thought he was. Danny punched him in the face. But Johnny's like, no, we're still going to represent these kids, be the senseis at this tournament. After that, we're done. So good on him. So after all that is done, everyone heads to the tournament. You see Cobra Kai, and Tori is with them. Again, Tori joins up with Kreese again. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Her head is still not going to be in the game. One other thing, Danny noticed the Sekkei Tenkai headband. Remember that Mr. Miyagi also had that headband in his box. So he finds out that Mr. Miyagi fought at that tournament before. I will be hyped. I will lose it if we find out that Mr. Miyagi fought Mr. Han at the tournament. Even if the timeline for their ages don't add up. Speaking of, Jackie and the rest didn't show up at the end of the part 1 finale. But if they're going to be at the tournament, that means it's going to be Mr. Han with Jaden his rival Cheng, and the OG Mohawk Kid Wu Ping. I just hope they're there, especially so he can fight Hawk, because Hawk is in the top 6 after Tori left. Can't wait to see where part 2 goes in November. Almost done with editing here. I noticed I kept pronouncing the tournament wrong. Seikai Taikai.